In this tutorial I'm going to look at creating this 80s style DiscoText. That's trademarked because I thought it was quite a funky play on words. Anyway, yeah, spotlights, rays and text. As usual, we're going to be working in Fusion, so you need to find your Fusion comp. Come to the top, open Effects Library if it's not open already. Come to Effects, Fusion comp at the top. Drag it onto your timeline. It can be any length you want. I'm just going to make this 10 seconds. And off we go into Fusion. So we're in Fusion. The effect is basically a particle system. So come to your hotbar, you'll find P emitter and P render, and they make up your basic particle system. We're going to be working in 3D for this, so we're going to put a merge 3D and a camera and a render 3D, and we're going to join all those together like so, and finally our render 3D will come to our media out. Okay, so if we look in our merge 3D scene, you can see our camera, and then if we swing round you can just make out the particles here which are coming off your P emitter. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from a sphere to a flat rectangle. To do that, select your P emitter, come up to region in the inspector and change sphere to rectangle. We've now got our rectangle, and if we hit play you can see it fills up with particles. Now we want these particles to be moving and we want them to be coming forwards. So to do that, again, still in P emitter, come to the control panel, open velocity. We're going to set velocity to 0.01 and we're going to change the angle Z to 90. Now if we press play you can see our particles are coming out towards us. At the minute there's way more there than we're going to need, so we're going to drop the number down to 1. So now we've got fewer particles. What we also want is for there to be particles from the very beginning. So by about 80 frames or so we seem to have enough particles, so we're going to pre-render the first 80 frames. To do that, come to your P-render node and you'll have pre-generate frames, just set that to 80. Now we'll start at frame 0 with lots of nice particles going on. Okay, next thing we're going to look at is the particles themselves. At the minute they're tiny dots and we don't want tiny dots, we want disks of colour. So back to your P emitter, come to style, and under style change point to n-gon, and in n-gon type I use circle. Now clearly they're way too big, so what we're going to do is we're going to come down to size and we're going to drop that considerably, possibly to about 0.01 maybe. Next we're going to look at the colour, so we're going to come to colour controls, colour variance. Down the bottom you've got lock colour variance, we want to uncheck that, and then we want to set RGB variances to their maximum. And what that does is it gives us lots of different coloured circles. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to position our camera. So at the minute the camera is behind the plane, so we need to bring it forward. So just grab the blue handle on the camera and come forward until you start to see your particles appear in your view. So now at the minute we've got this going on. All the particles are the same size, they pop in and out, so we'll address those two issues. So to vary the size, we'll just close our colour controls. Under size control, you've got size over life graph here. Just hover your mouse over the line till it turns pink, click and drag. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a nice zigzaggy kind of pattern. It doesn't actually matter how far up or down you go, just as long as you get some sort of variation, like so. And now what we get when we play is our particles change in size over time. To address the popping in and out, you come to your fade control, you set the in value to 0.1 and the out value to 0.9, not 1.9, 0.9. That just lets our particles fade a little bit slower in and out rather than popping. So now you've got your basic spotlight, if you like. If you want, you can adjust the size on those, make them a little bit bigger. Again, it's a preference thing, there's no hard and fast rule. And now we have our sort of particle field. So the next part of the puzzle, if you like, is the text. We're going to bring a regular text plus node in, and we're going to put whatever words we want in there, change the font, etc. We can have a look at our text in one of our viewers, get it to the right kind of size, say about that. Now if we put our media back, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this text node and we're going to drop it on the blue mask input of our render node. And basically what that's done, although it's not very clear, is it's masked the render node so that all it's rendering is what's inside the text. To make it a little clearer, we're going to select our text node, Command C to copy, and then Shift Command and V to paste an instance. We don't need that merge node. So this is an exact copy of our text. With your instance text selected, come to shading, and where you've got appearance, right click and de-instance. What that lets us do is we can change the appearance without affecting our regular text. And we're just going to make it an outline. Now we're going to take the output from this and merge it back onto our render node, and now you've got your text. So you can see it, and you can see your spotlights inside your text. What I'm going to do is I'm going to up the number of particles a bit. So come back to P emitter, come to controls, and then with number we can maybe take it up to 5. It's finding the balance between, say, 2.5, I think. Finding a balance between the number of particles that you have going on and sort of filling all your spaces in your text. So at the minute we've got our particles inside our text, but it's not very clear. I want the inside of the text to be black. So to do that, we're going to bring a background. We're going to merge our render onto this background and connect that merge node to the merge node that's already there. Now at the minute that's turned everything black, and I don't want that. I want this to stay transparent. So we're going to use our original text node, take an output and just pipe it into the mask input of the background. That restricts the black background to our text. And we've got our text with our flashing lights in it. So now we need to just tidy all this up a bit, and I'm going to bring those back, and we need to now get our ray and glow going on. I don't want the white outline of this instance text to have rays or glows from it. Drop that down a bit. So I'm going to put my rays and glows between these two merge nodes. So from merge 2, if we shift space, type rays, drop that in, and now you can see we're getting our rays coming through. And if you just want to add a bit of extra punch to those, you can add a glow, and you can play with your various settings to get the desired effect. And that's basically it. You may want to look at your P emitter, see if we can't crank up the number of lights we're getting. And so I think I said earlier about 5 might be better. And yeah, I hope that kind of makes sense, because that's... So this was our original. We'll just wait for the new one to cache. I say that's a bit smaller, but and there you go. That's your effect. Get rid of that. Bring you over. So, hope it made sense. Hope it's somehow useful. I'm not quite sure how it's going to be useful, but yeah, 80s style text with lots of flashing lights. Please feel free to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell, and I will catch you on the next one. Cheers!